Good afternoon. Welcome to week 3 of our 8-week Accelerator program, Personal Development Accelerator program. This week, we are looking at two major topics, emotional intelligence and resilience and adaptability. They are still under the inner foundation and personal mastery skills. This session week 3, we are going to be concluding the inner foundation and personal mastery skills, and then we'll move on to the next category. So we started this journey. The week 1, we had self-awareness, personal values, and belief system. Week 2, self-confidence and esteem and growth mindset. And week 3, we are going to be looking at emotional intelligence, resilience, and adaptability. Then the next week, we'll get into the category 2, which is the action and execution. So remember, growth begins from the inside and then it manifests. We are not human doers or human doing. We are human being. So we are, looking at the being part, and it's from the being that you can be able to do. So when we cover this area, by the time we get into the next category, which is the action and execution, you can now begin to see the difference. If this ground is not well covered, if you don't sow the seed, you cannot be expecting any harvest, any manifestation. So this is the seed phase. And we are moving forward. So emotional intelligence, please, before we begin, what is emotional intelligence to you? In your own words, this is not just definition or anything. What is emotional intelligence, and maybe how do you practice it? Please, I need one, person to say something before we move forward. What is emotional intelligence to you in your own understanding before we can move forward? We are amazing coaches here, and I know that we know it, but I just want us to just have a refresher. Maybe I should call names, should I? Okay, go ahead, please. Just unmute and share.
All right. Good afternoon, Coach Ogo. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. So for me, I would say not defining, but I would say that emotional intelligence is being able to understand people's emotions and dealing with them according to their emotions in a way that will benefit them and then benefit everyone around. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Amazing. Is there any other person that wants to share? One more. One more. I know I'm putting us on the spot, but we have to, just like we talked about, we have to really, be it, know it, practice it before we can share it. That's authenticity. So one more before we go in. Remember, I'm not afraid of silence, so if you want us to wait, we will wait. Ah, okay. One more.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
I was just about to call Nene.
Okay, so my understanding of emotional intelligence is your ability to, when you recognize and understand other people's emotions and even your own, it's not just about other people as well. Your own, your other people's emotions and your own emotions, and then you will use this understanding and the, when you are aware, this understanding, it will help you guide your own um behavior and your own reaction. For example, if you are talking with someone and you see that the person is upset, whatever it is that you are saying is upsetting the person, it will guide your own reaction. It will guide your behavior, your reaction towards that person. So it could make you either, it will make you stop. Do you get? So, and it's not just, it's also in the body language. You look at the person's body language, how the person is reacting. Okay, so what I'm saying is upsetting this person. So either I keep quiet or I change the course of my discussion. So that is emotional intelligence. You being aware about your own emotions and the other person's emotions, and then how to react accordingly. So that's my understanding of it.
Amazing. Thank you so, so, so much. They are all correct. So, but as we go into the study, we are going to now be learning the practical, applications in every way. It's really simply, like you said, both of you rightly said, understanding your own emotions, emotions of other people. And from that understanding, it actually guides you on how to relate with them. That's in summary. So we get into the class. Objective of this course, of this lesson or presentation, building a smarter heart, enhancing emotional intelligence. So for the teachers, that's where I'm going to, focus on, to equip educators with a fundamental understanding of emotional intelligence, EQ, and its significance in the learning environment, to provide practical strategies for fostering emotional self-awareness, self-management, empathy, and social skills in themselves and their students, to empower teachers or coaches or mentors or parents to create emotionally supportive classrooms or homes that promote holistic students or child development. It's very, very important that we get a hold of this topic, not just in theory, but in practical. You can practice it in the workplace, at home, at school, wherever you find yourself, because it is really essential to building a very good relationship. So we'll start with a case study. And I'll read the first case study from the curriculum. This is the story of Amara. Amara is a 12-year-old student who loves playing soccer. She's part of her school team and enjoys competing with other schools. However, Amara has been struggling with her temper during games. Whenever the opposing team scores a goal or the referee makes a decision she doesn't agree with, Amara gets angry and shouts at her teammates or the referee. One day, Amara's coach, Mrs. Nenna, sat her down and explained that her behavior was affecting not only her own game, but also the team's morale. Mrs. Norma taught Amara about emotional intelligence and how to manage her feelings. Amara learned to recognize her emotions and take a step back when she felt herself getting angry. So the first one is awareness, recognizing it. Do you know that some of these people that you have dealt with that are really hard to deal with, do you know that most times they are unaware of how their behaviors, their emotions, their actions are affecting the people around them? Because if they were aware, I want to believe that they would have enough empathy to be able to, stop whatever it is that they are doing, but they are not aware. That's why they constantly continue to inflict pain, because there is no awareness. They have no idea. They just feel like they're just doing what they're supposed to do. If they understand how it's affecting other people, I want to believe that they will be able to take a step back to, reflect. So Amara learns to recognize her emotions and take a step back when she felt herself getting angry. She practiced deep breathing exercises and counted to 10 before reacting. When we say things like this, people think that, okay, how can deep breathing and counting to 10 help you? These are little techniques, but they are very powerful. Just taking a step back, just taking a deep breath. You know how refreshing it is when you're overwhelmed. Just taking a deep breath 2 or 3 times, it has a way of calming your body, calming your emotions. And then being disciplined enough to count 1 to 10 before responding. That's where self-discipline comes in. It helps, as in, it significantly affects the outcome. Like, rather than if you didn't count it at all, like reacting raw to the situation. So they seem insignificant, but these are techniques that have been proven to be very efficient. So she practiced deep breathing exercises and counted to 10 before reacting. She also started to focus on positive self-talk. Let me go back to counting to 10. One of the advantages of taking that time to count to 10 is emotions cloud judgment. When the emotions are high, you act, you don't think. But taking that time to count to 10 has a way of clearing the situation. Like, it gives you just a little time to actually be able to think. Because when your emotions are high, you don't think. That's why when you meet people in love, everybody clearly knows that this woman or this man is not good for you. They cannot think. Like, the emotions are so high, the judgment is just 0, So taking time to count 1 to 10 before reacting. She also started to focus on positive self-talk, reminding herself that she was a good player and that one mistake wouldn't define her. So positive self-talk. During the next game, Amara felt herself getting angry when the opposing team scored a goal. But instead of shouting, she took a deep breath, counted to 10, and focused on the next play. She even encouraged her teammates and helps them stay motivated. Amara's team, the outcome, Amara's team won the game, and she was proud of herself for managing her emotions. Her teammates appreciated her positive attitude, and Mrs. Nelma praised her for her improvement. Amara realized that emotional intelligence wasn't just about controlling her emotions, but also about building stronger relationships with her teammates and performing better in the game. So emotional intelligence is not just about you. It affects other people and it affects your productivity and your outcome. She learns that by understanding and managing her feelings, she could achieve her goals and become a better player and a better teammate. So what are the lessons from here? Amara's story teaches us that emotional intelligence is essential for success in all areas of life. By recognizing and managing our emotions, we can, number 1, build stronger relationships. Number 2, perform better at work or school or sports or in the family. Number 3, make better decisions. And number 4, achieve our goals. I must add, because we have a lot of parents here, emotional intelligence will also help you to be a better parent. They have all of these no yelling challenge, how to go from yelling to calm. It's all about being able to manage your emotions. It's all about emotional intelligence, because when you understand how your emotions and your reactions affect your children, and their outcome in life, you too, you'll be disciplined enough to put yourself together, because it's not just about you. So, next, understanding our feelings, the foundation of emotional intelligence. What are emotions? They are inner compass. Emotions are not bad. Emotions are just they're just pointers. There are no bad emotions. There are no bad emotions. There are no good emotions. They are just pointers. Somebody say, but anger is a bad emotion. Anger is not a bad thing. Anger is not a bad thing, but what you do with your anger is what makes it bad. So the anger is meant to let you go back and reflect, like this emotion I'm feeling right now. What is it? And why am I feeling this way? And what am I going to do with it? Is what you do with emotions that makes it something good or bad. So emotions are powerful, complex feelings that influence our thoughts, our behaviors, and our physical reactions. They are signals from our brains about what's happening to us and around us. So there are different ranges of emotions, different emotions, basic emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust. We know some of these emotions. We are excited when we are joyful, we are happy, we are excited. When we are angry, we are really, really aggravated. I'm trying to get some of our definitions. We have a lot of it in the curriculum, the appendix of the curriculum for self-awareness anyway. Okay, so let's just continue. So when you feel disgust, like maybe you saw something, you're passing and just somebody poo-pooed by the roadside, is disgusting. It's an emotion, So we feel all of these things. And like I said, they are not good or bad, but what you do with those emotions determine, whether it's good, as in what you do will now be graded as good or bad. But emotions in itself, they are just pointers. They are just, things leading us to something about ourselves. Emotions are very important and they are foundational to our self-awareness. So, briefly touch upon how emotions can manifest. Okay. Depending on emotions that you have, if you're angry, like someone just aggravates you, already you start becoming agitated, like you start feeling this hotness that is bubbling up on the inside of you. So the emotions can actually affect your physical body and ultimately affect what you do, your actions. So emotions, they are kind of intangible things that affect the way we act, that has like a physical manifestation. Emotions are intangible things that have physical manifestation. If it's joy, there's this happy energy that comes up, and then it will make you so excited. You might hug somebody, you might smile, you might jump. So the intangible thing now has an effect on the outward manifestation. So that's how powerful emotions are. So emotional intelligence is the ability now to understand and manage your own emotions and to understand and influence the emotions of those around you. I remember when I was teaching one of my children emotional intelligence, she said emotional intelligence is about understanding and managing your emotions and understanding and managing the emotions of other people. I said, it's half correct. You can only understand and manage your own emotion. You cannot manage another person's emotion. You can understand another person's emotion, but you cannot manage it. It's their own to manage, but you can influence their emotions by the understanding that you have. So that understanding helps you to influence their own emotions, but they are the only ones that can manage their own emotions. Nobody can manage your emotions for you. And the way we react based on emotions is our choice. Nobody can make you fight. Someone can make you angry, but nobody can make you fight. It's your choice to fight because of the anger that you're feeling. So nobody can make you manage your emotions. You will have to manage your emotions by yourself. Why emotional intelligence is important? We have talked about it. It helps with better relationships, whether professional or personal. It helps to improve our decision making, helps to enhance our well-being and stress management. It helps with greater success in academics and in life. So the difference between the EQ and IQ, they are two different things, because there are people with very high IQ and low EQ. Then there are people with very high EQ and low IQ. There are people with high IQ and high EQ. Emotional quotient, which is also emotional intelligence, and intelligence quotient. So intelligence quotient is your ability to be excellent in maybe academics like maths, English. That's intelligence quotient, which is wonderful. Emotional quotient is your ability to manage your emotion and influence the emotions of other people. When it comes to leadership, a person with intelligence quotient, a person with higher emotional quotient or intelligence will always be a better leader than the person with intelligence quotient only. So that's where you see bosses and leaders. A boss is someone that is very, very, proficient in their work based on their understanding of the subject or the task, and they have that leadership position. They have that managerial position, but they are not necessarily leaders. A leader is a person that knows how to manage people, manage a group of people. It's a team builder, and it's embedded in emotional intelligence. Without high emotional intelligence, you can't be a good leader. You can't even be a good parent. When you see parents or children struggle with their parents, if you really take a dive back and if we really want to be honest with ourselves, it's poor emotional intelligence on our part. If you're equipped with a great level of emotional intelligence, you can be able to manage your child no matter what, and you can be able to build a wonderful relationship with your child if you're emotionally intelligent. But most times, parents don't consider those things. They just want to exact their energy or their power on the children because they feel that they are theirs. We are not our children's owners. We are children's caretakers and mentors and guide in life. It's not our place to decide for our children, make decisions in everything for our children, pull them, throw them, force them to do things. Not our place. Our place is to teach them well, to nurture them and guide them in making the right decisions based on their lives. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence to be an outstanding parent. So recognizing your own emotions, deeply embedded in self-awareness, the ability to accurately perceive and understand your own emotions, your thoughts and values, and how they impact you and others. You can develop that self-awareness by regularly asking yourself questions like, how am I feeling right now? And why do I feel this way? I usually use this example. You go to work, you come back, maybe you told your children to do some things, it's holiday, and then you come back, you open the front door, and everywhere is scattered. Of course, something is going to rise up from the inside of you, like something. And now immediately you come in, that's when they will remember. They're supposed to wash plates and arrange. They will now get up and start wanting to run around. That thing that rose up inside of you, you need to take some before you start shouting. Like, you need to calm down and ask yourself, what am I feeling? You need to ask yourself, because you might be feeling a lot of things at that same time. Being able to identify what you're feeling can actually help you to, manage the thing. So are you stressed from work? Because you're just coming back. Are you stressed or tired from the pressures and everything that you experienced at work? Are you angry? Like they clearly disobeyed me. Are you irritated because of the sights that you saw? You need to really unpack what you're feeling. And then you now ask yourself, why am I feeling this way right now? If it's because you're stressed and tired from work, just go and lie down. Just leave them alone. Go and lie down and calm yourself down. Because you're irritated by the sight, then you know how to address the situation. I'm sure that you understand what I mean, because understanding how you're feeling will help you to manage your feelings better. The reason why sometimes we flare up, don't even know how we are feeling. Sometimes it happens to all of us. Don't even know how I'm feeling right now. I don't know how I'm feeling. It's because it's just a mixture of so many emotions and we cannot unpack them. If we are able to just take a step back to unpack those emotions, we can now be able to address them intelligently. And then you see everything will just be sorted out without you going off. So, journaling is also another thing. Writing down your feelings, your thoughts can also help you to identify patterns in how you feel. You're scanning your body, paying attention to your physical sensation that accompany emotions. There is this feeling that you have when your nerves are high, you're nervous, maybe you are going to present a speech. There's this feeling like you need to realize, why am I feeling this way? Is it because I'm about to present a speech? Why am I feeling this way? Am I feeling this way because these people I'm going to talk to are monsters? If they are truly human beings, why should I be feeling this? This can also help you to unpack. It also helps me as well, because sometimes when, I'm being pushed to speak sometimes in places, sometimes that emotions will rise up. Then I'll remind myself, this is human being, no, it's not God. Nah, man, this, no be God. It has a way of helping me to put myself together, to calm those emotions or nerves down. But ultimately, we need to understand and name our emotions. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Beyond emotions, self-awareness also extends to understanding your personal strengths, what you're good at, your talents, your positive traits, and weaknesses, areas that you can improve, or challenges that you face. So it's important that we understand this part of, awareness, because it helps us to leverage our strengths for success. It helps us addressing the weakness for growth and development. It helps us to build self-confidence and a realistic self-image. So someone is asking, how does this tie to emotional intelligence? It does, because right now, I just mentioned in the area of building self-confidence and realistic image. Example, you have to present a speech. With emotional intelligence, you are able to unpack that emotion that you're feeling, like you're being nervous, you're able to unpack it and then address it. With emotional intelligence, you can also be able to know the areas of your strengths and deploy, as in putting more energy in those areas. Like we started in day one, practical steps that you can take. You can ask for constructive feedback. I don't know how many of us have been able to do that. Asking people, what do you feel, about me? What do you think are my strengths, my weaknesses? You You can even do an analysis in terms of your emotions. What do you think about my level of emotional intelligence? You can ask people that in terms of how I behave. These are questions that you need to ask your close people that are your people, not people that don't know you, people that know you that can actually tell you how you behave when you're offended or irritated and all that. Sometimes when I'm irritated, I can actually be so people that work closely with me can really tell when I'm like that, because so you need to ask the people that are close to you to give you like a clear picture of it so that you can begin to work on it. So most times that I find myself in those situations, I just drop back and I'm like, why am I like this? Then I find a way to address it. Sometimes it's not as easy as the way I just, talked about it. Like you can just address it like that. Sometimes, I don't know, there was an incident that happened one time and it had to do with one of our parents. I can't remember what happened, but I don't know why that thing just doing me the wrong way. Like I'm a very, very, naturally I'm easy to relate with and all. But I feel like I don't know why I felt like this person was trying to take advantage, and I don't like injustice. The thing was just pinching me too much. I had to call myself, like, calm down. Like, why is this thing pinching you like this? Why? Why? So I had to dig in, dig. And I realized that I felt like I was being used. Like I felt like all the things that we are offering for free, like it wasn't enough. You also have to come and take, from this. Like I felt used. That was why the thing was really pinching me like that. And guess how I responded to that? Everything she wanted, I packed it and gave her. Just take. We are bigger than this. Just take, you know? And that was how personally I dealt with it. So I don't know how we deal with our own things, but it's important that we understand what we are feeling and work through it. Managing yourself, cultivating self-control and motivation. So self-control is the ability to manage your emotions and impulses, to think before you act, and to adapt to changing circumstances. Adapt to changing circumstances. So strategies for cultivating self-control: pause and breathe. We talked about it. Count to 10. Reframe the thoughts, changing the negative thoughts into more positive and realistic ones. Focusing on solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. Shifting focus to something positive when overwhelmed. The reason why it's called emotional intelligence is because there is an intelligence behind it. You need to master the tools and techniques. If not, you can actually be caught up in the moment. Recently, my team and I went on some kind of visit to some, high official, and we were kind of treated poorly. But when we stepped out of that office with emotional intelligence, with my knowledge, all of these things that we are teaching here, my self-awareness, my self-esteem and confidence and self-worth, I knew that it was not a me problem. It was that person's problem. So as we're leaving the place, there's a way that you'll be treated, like you'll be tempted to lodge onto it and just, you feel like you have the right to be offended. But as I was leaving that place, I just transferred that energy out of me, because I know me. It's not about me. It actually takes emotional intelligence to know that this is this person's problem. Not hold this negative energy because of this person's reactions or attitude towards me. Should be able to separate myself from this because this is not who I am. I'm a person of value. So just separate yourself. Sometimes it can take a minute, sometimes it can take an hour, but it's an intelligence that we all need to build. That's why a lot of women, the high rate of terminal diseases is so high because women have a way of holding on to negativity. Like you can't share it, you're just holding on to it. And like I said, emotions are intangible things that manifest in the tangible. They must settle. So you just hold on to that resentment. Oh, the in-law did this one, husband did this one, this mother-in-law, this person did this one, colleague, this child did this one. After you just be holding, the thing will now go and settle somewhere. And one day they will call it cancer. You know, I strongly believe that the high rate of terminal diseases these days is because of unresolved emotions. We need the intelligence for ourselves and then to be able to teach the younger ones. We need that intelligence to be able to separate ourselves from the emotions, separate ourselves from the situation, separate ourselves from whatever happened and deal with it and then let it go and move on. So these are strategies that we need to learn. Of course, apart from emotional intelligence, the Holy Spirit is also here to help us because there are some things that you need His help to deal with. Self-motivation, the ability to drive yourself to achieve goals, to persevere in life in the face of setback, and to maintain a positive outcome. So components of it is clearly, setting goals, achievable goals, ability to bounce back from challenges, being optimistic, believing in your ability to succeed, and taking actions without being prompted, taking initiative. And we can be able to boost that motivation by breaking those large goals down, celebrating small victories, focusing on the positive, connecting with the why, the purpose behind your efforts. Now we are going on to the other part of emotional intelligence, which is empathy, is a major part of emotional intelligence, your ability to step into someone else's shoes. Empathy is different from sympathy. Sympathy is when you're sorry for someone, you see a poor beggar by the roadside that is hungry and cold, you're sorry for them. That's sympathy. Empathy is, putting yourself in that person's shoes. How is this person feeling right now? Alone, hungry, cold. That is empathy. The ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's not just sympathy, feeling sorry for someone, but truly understanding their perspective. Empathy is important because it helps in building relationships. When you're able to understand what your partner is feeling or what your friend or colleague is feeling, without them, they don't really have to say it. Empathy is like you see the person and you feel it, and it helps you to, it helps you to know how to relate to them. It's the ability, it's important because it helps you resolve conflicts more effectively. It promotes compassion and kindness. It enhances communication and understanding. Empathy will help you know that that person that passed and kind of elbowed you, like the way it happened, you know that it was not intentional. Maybe somebody pushed him and was trying to fall and then now hit you. It was not intentional. It's empathy that makes you go that extra mile. Without the empathy, you will turn and just give the person a buck, like box the person. How dare you step on me? It happens again, like when you're driving, and then I don't know, maybe whether it has happened to you. Somebody is running behind you, move away. The person cannot see you, what you're seeing in front. there is a young woman with 2 children trying to cross the road, and you're, applying brake to allow them to pass. You are the one seeing it. The person behind you is not seeing it, and they are pressing the horn. If there is a way that they will see what you're seeing, they'll be more empathetic. So empathy helps you kind of even see beyond what is immediate. And it helps you to, respond in a right way because you're putting yourself in that person's place. I hope I'm making sense. So ways that you can practice empathy, paying full attention to what others are saying, both verbally and non-verbally. Perspective taking, imagining yourself in their situation. Asking open-ended questions, encouraging others to share their feelings. In fact, that incident that I just told you that happened, I went to visit someone and treated us poorly. When I came back, when I was, also trying to unpack everything that happened, because it was really an interesting visit, I started feeling empathy for this person because this person is probably very tired, like has like 1,000,001 meetings to attend, many people that are tugging him from here to here to here to here. I actually started feeling empathy for the person, like he's truly tired and we're just there because he just had to talk to us. Just, then something else was like, please, even if you're tired, you can be nice, But you can't just give excuses for people just for your own sake, not for their sake, for your own sake. Just give those excuses for them. Finally, social skills. Social skills is a very vital part of emotional intelligence because it's the ability for you to interact and communicate with others effectively, both verbally and non-verbally. We really need to understand that verbal communication is just 7% of communication. The remaining, 3% of communication, verbal. The remaining 97% is non-verbal. Is your body language, is your tone of voice, is your expression, your facial expression, all those are body language. You can not communicate. We are always communicating, whether we are speaking or not speaking. The way we react like this, just move your body like this. It means it's communication. Somebody is speaking with you, you're on the phone, looking at the phone, you're communicating. You're not important. What you're saying is not important. We are always communicating. You have not said it, but we are always communicating. And it takes high level of emotional intelligence to communicate effectively, to have built social skills that will enable us to interact and communicate with people, both in the workplace, especially in social gatherings. So key social skills, active listening. When you're actively listening to someone, you want to really, repeat what they are saying to let them know that you're there and what they're saying is important. Clear and respectful communication, expressing your thoughts and feelings clearly and kindly. We need to learn to do that. Even in relationships, we need to clearly communicate. Mumbling is not communication. This happens a lot with couples, husband and wife. Women, you just mumble, I don't like this. You're not communicating. You've not said anything because they'll keep doing that thing until you clearly and respectfully sit down and have that conversation and communicate clearly your feelings, your thoughts, and you express it verbally and clearly. It takes emotional intelligence to do that. Conflict resolution, being able to find constructive ways to deal with disagreements. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence. It's also a social skill. Working together with others towards a common goal, teamwork and collaboration is a social skill and is embedded in emotional intelligence. Without emotional intelligence, you cannot work in a team. You cannot collaborate. You can't. Because if you're not aware of your actions, your reactions, your attitude, and all those things, you'll just be treating people poorly and they'll leave you. And finally, building rapport, establishing positive connections with people. So this is how the office looks without lights. It's not so bad, is it? But they are going to bring the lights soon. So finally, the act of communication, focus both on verbal word choice, tone, and non-verbal cues, body language, and facial expressions. All of these are all parts of emotional intelligence, being able to understand, manage your emotions, and understand and influence the emotions of other people. So we've come to the end of this particular topic. We have 4 minutes to discuss. We have 4 minutes to have a discussion. Yes, the light is part of this stood out for before we continue. The room is open.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, yes, you can hear you.
Okay, so yes. Okay, so okay, this topic is actually very interesting because everyone needs it, and every day we need emotional intelligence to navigate our day and not actually to have a good day. And sometimes we let other people's emotions affect us, and that's part of emotional intelligence. So I like what you said that okay, after you and your team went to see the person, you you dropped all that emotion out there because you realized that it wasn't about you, but it was about that other person. You realized your worth and you knew that you were more than that. You know that you're a very valuable person and you give worth. So you're a person of value. And we need to it really stood out for me because a lot of times we allow other people their emotions affect us. And someone, I read one analogy one day when the person was talking about emotional intelligence. And he said, look, that it's just like when you are going out, maybe you could be driving or you could be walking, and you see a garbage truck. That would you allow the truck to dump their garbage? The truck just dumps garbage, but would you allow the truck to dump the garbage on you? And the answer is no. And it's the same with your emotions, handling your emotions, and also understanding other people's emotions. So you realize that what they are pouring, if they are giving negative energy, just imagine it as the deaths in the garbage truck. don't let don't let them pour it on you, so you can just move away from there. And that is understanding their emotions, recognizing their emotions, also recognizing your own and choosing to step away from there. And I like where you said nobody can make you do anything you don't want to do. You have a choice how you react to emotions. You have a choice. Your reaction is your choice. So nobody can make you fight. Nobody can make you do what you really do not want to do. So with that understanding, your behavior will be informed by your understanding of your own emotions and that other person's emotion. Since you said you cannot, we can't influence other people's emotions. All we need to do just to understand. Sorry, we can't manage other people's emotion. I can only influence and manage your own. So you can choose to step out of that situation, give some space, and also understand your own worth so that their own emotions will not affect you negatively. So that was what stood out for me. Thank you. A lot more stood out, but I just wanted to speak on this. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much. More contributions. More contributions. One more contribution before we can move on to the next topic.
Can you hear me?
Hi,
Hello,
Jumoke.
can you hear
It's
me?
been a long time.
Okay, yes. Okay, actually, I have a question.
Okay.
Can you hear me? I have a question. Okay,
Yes.
it's concerning what you mentioned where you gave an example where when you get home and the home is in a mess, maybe for children, how do one is able to, so if you don't want to be hungry? Okay, I was away for a while, and since I was around, the children, I'm able to organize them, or just was away. Coming back was like, I was almost like, I just like, my God. So it's just, is it that when I'm with you,
I cannot hear you. Hello?
have
We didn't hear you. Oh, maybe I'm the only one that did not hear.
No, you're not the only one. I did not hear her as well.
Okay. Hello, Kojumi. Kojumi? Oh. But I guess from the little that I heard, I guess that, she was trying to ask, like, how is one supposed to be able to, is it manage their emotion or not feel the emotions? I think that's what I feel that she's trying to, to ask. She was away and she came back for a while. She came back and maybe the things that the children were supposed to organize. How is one not supposed to feel? That's what I got. So the answer that I'm going to give is that nobody said that you should not feel emotions. The emotions are there to be felt. But what we're saying is when you now feel it, can you be able to take some time to identify what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way before you can begin responding? Because understanding your emotions, what you're feeling, and why you're feeling it should be able to inform you better on the next steps to take. That's what I feel. Like, of course, we have all the right to feel angry. But why are we angry? As in, number one, is it anger I'm feeling? Why am I angry? Then you can now, be able to make an informed decision on how to respond. That's, my understanding of the question. The emotions are meant to be felt. Emotional intelligence is not about you not feeling emotion. It's about you understanding that thing that you're feeling, knowing what you're feeling and understanding why you're feeling it so that it can help you make an informed decision. So that's how I'm going to respond to that, if that is what you're asking. But please, you can send me a voice note or a chat afterwards. On this note, we will move on to the second segment of the class, resilience and adaptability. Resilience and adaptability. You see, see the way I'm teaching these classes, and I'm sure somebody is like, hey, Coach Ogo is teaching so well, and me, I'm learning. What I'm going to advise us is start teaching, even if it's to one person. I'm excited about this program because this is a learning program for me as well. As a matter of fact, I'm learning more than you because I am actively, I'm actively learning as I'm speaking to you. But you are passively learning. And that's why the interaction is important. Ask questions, share, make comments, and all of that. I'm learning more. Let me quickly, show you. I saw this recently, and of course, I'm going to use it to create some kind of resource. They call it something pyramid. It's a learning pyramid. A learning pyramid. Look at what it says. It says, learning pyramid, knowledge retention rates. We all know these things. So I'm just trying to reshare it again so that I will encourage you, once this class is over, just find one or two people and teach them this again. If you have access to the slide, use it and teach. Just start using it. Start teaching it. It will make the knowledge enter well. Like now, I have a better understanding of emotional intelligence just by teaching it than I had before I taught it. So the learning pyramid, it says the way we learn, there is passive learning methods and there is participatory teaching method. So in the passive learning, this is a pyramid. I don't know if you guys see, I'll share it in the platform. Listening alone is 0.5%. 0.5. When you're just listening to a class, your learning retention is 0.5 over 100. 0.5 over 100. Listening alone. Reading, we're encouraged to read. 10%. 10 over 100. It's still a failure. 10 over 100 if you're reading alone. Audio visual, listening to message or watching a movie, listening to the book or watching it played out. Audio visual is 20%. Then demonstration, acting it, embodying it, because when you're acting it, you're embodying it, dancing it, is 30% retention. Group discussion, like what I invite you to after each of these sessions, increase it to 50% learning retention. Group discussion, 50% learning retention. It's still a failure in everywhere. Maybe in Nigeria with 50%, you have I think D or C, I don't know. But practice by doing is 5%. And then teaching others, like what I'm doing, 90%. So if you take this resilience presentation that I've just made and just teach it to somebody else one time, you increase your learning retention by 90%. So what we are doing now, listening alone, if you're not making any contribution, is 5%. So you can't say that you know this with 5%. So I set up this to encourage us to start teaching immediately. Find a group and start teaching it immediately. So objective of this program, of this lesson, to define and differentiate between resilience and adaptability, to understand the crucial interconnection of these two skills, to identify personal strengths and growth areas related to resilience and adaptability, to learn practical strategies for building resilient mindset, to develop techniques for embracing change and fostering growth, to apply resilience and adaptability in various real-world scenarios, including academic, social, personal challenges. Finally, to equip both teachers and pupils with the tools for future-proofing and navigating life transitions. Things happen every day. Life throws curveballs. There are obstacles on the way. We need resilience and adaptability to be able to tackle it. So let me read a case study. I love case studies because it creates a scenario and it shows us outcome, how it's applied, and then the outcome. So this is Ama's story. Ama is a 19-year-old student from Ghana who lives in a small town. She dreams of becoming a successful entrepreneur one day. However, her journey to success has not been easy. Ama's family lost their farm. This is a challenge. Ama's family lost their farm to a severe drought that affected their crops. Her parents, who were farmers, had to find new jobs to support their family. Ama had to balance her studies with part-time work to help support her family financially. She also had to deal with the emotional stress of seeing her parents struggle. Ama realized that she had two options: give up or find a way to adapt. She decided to use her challenges as an opportunity to learn and grow. She started selling traditional Ghanaian crafts online to earn extra income for her family. She also began taking online courses to improve her business skills. Ama demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability in the face of adversity. She, number one, adapted to her new circumstances. You know, one of the reasons why we fail and we keep failing is that we live in denial. We refuse to adapt to the reality that is facing us. We refuse. And as long as you're in denial, you cannot make plans to move forward. So she adapted to her new circumstances. Ama adjusted to her new role as a part-time worker and online seller while still prioritizing her studies. This is the reality for her. She adapted to it. She didn't just keep saying, oh, when my daddy was a farmer, when our farm was producing, have you ever met people like that? Oh, when I was working in this place. Oh, you're no longer there. This is where you are. And because of that, they cannot adapt. They cannot begin to make plans to move forward. And that's why there's no growth. So she found new opportunities. Ama identified a gap in the market for traditional Ghanaian crafts, and she seized the opportunity to sell them online. Ama developed new skills. She learned new business skills through online courses, which helped her to grow her online business. Ama found healthy ways to manage her stress, such as exercise and talking to friends. Now, here's the outcome. Ama's online business started to flourish, and she was able to support her family financially. She also gained confidence and developed a sense of purpose. Ama's story is an inspiration to many young people in her community. showing them that with resilience and adaptability, they can overcome challenges and achieve their goals. So these are the lessons. I've talked about it. The first one is being adaptable. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and being able to adapt is crucial to success. Yes, this is where we are now. What can we do at this point to move from here to there? Developing resilience. Resilience helps us to bounce back from setback, and it keeps us moving forward. These are skills that we really, really need to teach young people in this generation, because we are in the microwave, drive-through, social media age where people think that, their life is over just by seeing their classmates online doing something, bought a car or bought a house or businesses, they are not able to be resilient, to bounce back. Sometimes they fall and they remain down. Resilience is your ability to get up and move. When life throws that curveball, are you able to adapt and adjust and move on? These are skills that we need to teach our children. Yes, the JAMB score was low. Do you have to kill yourself? Can we not learn a skill for 1 year, then retake the JAMB and enter school the next year? Do we have to commit suicide? It's lack of adaptability and resilience. We need to really teach our young people that you failed a course in year 1. Do you have to drop out of school? Is it a bad thing to have carryover and have an extra year and still get up and continue to be something? There are people that will just drop out because of a lot of it and they never continue with school. So we need to teach that resilience, ability to bounce back after a setback, and ability to adapt when life circumstances changes. And finally, finding opportunities in challenges. Sometimes that thing that you call the obstacle, that thing that you call the challenge, there is opportunity inside that place. There is this book by a Stoic. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. What's the name of this Stoic-ish man? Sorry. Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday. He's a Stoic. I have a lot of his book. He wrote a book. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle is the way. In many cases, that thing that you call in challenge, there are opportunities in there. It's just for us to be able to look into it or reframe it. So now we are going into the lesson. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness, it's not about avoiding stress or hardship, but it's about effectively navigating through it and emerging stronger. You see the picture on this thing? It's very resilient. I heard the palm tree is a tree that is very resilient. It can withstand storms. They can bend. Another tree that does that is a willow. A willow can bend, like not just bend, though, bend and remain bent for hours in the storm. And once the storm is over, it will rise again. The ability to bounce back. Many trees will break. So it's not about avoiding stress or hardship, but the ability to effectively navigate through it and emerge stronger. The key characteristics of resilience is bouncing back, the ability to return to a baseline state after adversity. Persistence, the drive to continue despite obstacle. Problem solving, actively seeking solutions to the challenges. Being optimistic, maintaining a positive outlook. Emotional regulation, managing your feelings effectively. So think of a strong tree, like the picture here, bending in the wind, but not breaking, or a spring coiling and then releasing. That's resilience in action. That is resilience in action. Now, adaptability. Adaptability, they are two different things. They are not the same thing. From the things that we've read, the case study and the few definitions, you can see that they are not the same. Adaptability is the ability to adjust to new conditions, situations, or environments. It's about being flexible and open to new ways of thinking and doing. Being flexible and open to new ways of thinking and doing. So here are the characteristics of, flexibility. Adaptability. Number one is flexibility, willingness to change plans or approach. Basically having a growth mindset, because a growth mindset is flexible and adaptable. You're willing to learn and grow. You're not fixed like cement, like you've already set on stone. You can never change. Please hold on. Where is this call coming from? I have no idea. Who is calling me? Goodness. Okay. I see. It's my mom. All right. So let's get back. I hope you can still see my screen. Okay. So the willingness to change plan or approaches, open-mindedness, receptiveness to new ideas and perspectives, learning orientation, a desire to learn and grow from new experiences. These are key characteristics of adaptability. The desire to learn and grow from new experiences, innovation, finding new and creative solutions, proactiveness, taking initiative to adjust rather than being reactive. An example is a chameleon. This is a picture of a chameleon. It changes color, it blends in, or a river finding a new path around an obstacle. If there is a block, they will always find some paths to navigate. They don't just come there and get stuck. So it's just being able to being malleable. I would say being malleable, being able to adjust to new changes. That is what flexibility is. Now, the interconnection of resilience and adaptability. So these are like power twins, like power identical twins, power fraternal twins, because they're not identical. A powerful duo. They are not separate, but synergenic. They can work together, they're synergy. Resilience helps you recover from setback, while adaptability helps you adjust to the new reality created by those setbacks. Resilience helps you recover from setback, while adaptability helps you adjust to the new reality created by those setbacks. Resilience fuels adaptability. If you can bounce back from a challenge, resilience, you are better positioned to adapt to the changes it brought about. Adaptability strengthens resilience. Being adaptable means you are less likely to be overwhelmed by change, thus reducing the need for extensive recovery, resilience. Example, a resilient student recovers from a low test score, that's resilience, and then adapts their study method to improve. That's adaptability. So they recovered, oh, they failed. Okay, the score is low. Okay, no problem. Now they are able to adapt. Okay, I was not studying well. I need to review my study techniques. And then they changed and improved. Adaptability. Now, how would Alex's situation have been different if he possessed both strong resilience and adaptability today? Okay, this is a question that is coming from one of the case studies. Now, identifying personal strengths in the area of assessments and all of that. Like I told you, everything is interconnected and related. Importance of self-awareness. Understanding where you currently stand in the first step is the first step towards growth. So think about a time you faced a challenge. What did you do well? What could you have done differently? Provide a short checklist or scale. You know, I think this is something that we can apply to ourselves. Even for me personally, I know that, you know, I'm a resilient person. I'm a very, very resilient person. And I'm very adaptable, I'm telling you, because if I were not resilient and adaptable, there's no way I'll be doing what I'm doing today. There's no way I'll be here. It's not possible. There are so many people that have faced the exact same challenge, even less, that are faced. And they're still bitter, angry, complaining, and nowhere. It takes resilience to be able to get up and continue to move and build and grow until you come out of the situation that you are in. So it's important that we also put ourselves in that, in that place with our current situation. We all have individual and peculiar situations that we are dealing with. But the truth is, everybody is dealing with something. Everybody, there's nobody, even those people that you're watching on social media and you're wishing, their life, they have something. In fact, if they even expose you to their own problem, you too, you start doing Thanksgiving that you don't have a problem. Everybody, this is not a negative confession, it's a reality. Everybody is dealing with something. So for you, that thing that you're dealing with, that you feel that is the worst, we have talked about the fact that the obstacle is the way. What is that thing that is before you that you say, if only God can remove this thing? What's that thing that you've been praying? God, change, and has not changed for the past 10 years. That thing can be a path, a new path for you. You know, it depends on the way that you finally decide to start seeing it. You can be able to overcome those challenges and thrive, Accept that this is my reality right now. Accept that this is my reality right now. What can I do to move? Don't just say, oh, why? This is not what you promised me. Husband, you told me that we're going to move to Canada, move to America. We're still here in Nigeria. This is not what you promised me. You deceived me. And you're still crying over it for 5 years. You're still in Nigeria. Adapt. Now we are here. This is the reality. What can I do to make progress? So that is what this scale is about. Not wallowing in self-pity, but being able to get up, accept, okay, this is it. What can I do to move forward? Building a resilient mindset, the power of perspective. The way you think about something is actually the way As in, the meaning you call a thing is what it will be to you. It's based on your perspective. The meaning you call a thing, based on your perspective, is what it will be to you. That's what it will be to you. So your perspective is very powerful. So the power of perspective and positive reframing. Our thoughts profoundly impact our feelings and our actions. So learning to identify and challenge unhelpful thought patterns is very important. We have dealt with this in the belief system, the limiting beliefs, because what you believe, either if the belief is limiting, it will limit you. If the belief is empowering, it will empower you. And it's all stemmed in our thought patterns. We have taught it so much, or it was programmed into us based on our environment, our upbringing, and the things that we've been exposed to. So challenging negative thoughts can also help us to build resilience. If we're able to reframe those negative things, like I'm not good enough, this is impossible, to reframing it to I am good enough, I am possible, everything is possible. It has a way of improving your resilience. Because when you think bad, there's a book that Kenneth Hagin wrote, Right and Wrong Thinking. Right and wrong thinking. It says, if you think bad, bad, you speak bad and you act bad. So your thoughts will affect your words and it will affect your actions, your outcome. That's the same way. If you're already feeling I'm not good enough, you cannot have the energy to be resilient now. You cannot try again when you're already not good enough. But when you reframe those thoughts, I am good enough, instead of I failed, you can think about, yes, but there is a new way. This is a challenge that will help me grow. You can reframe those things. Remember the growth mindset language, yet. I've not learned the skill yet. It means that you're on a journey to learning it, and it helps your resilience. So in Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, he says that the belief that mindset is the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication. That's a growth mindset and hard work, versus the belief that the abilities are fixed. So your belief will affect your resilience. If you believe that your own is over, you cannot be strong, because it takes inner strength to be resilient, strength from inside to be resilient. And it's all stemmed down to belief system. And belief system is formed through our thought pattern. So it's so important that we pay attention to those things. Emotional regulation, it also affects our resilience, because the way you feel, if you're able to, we've talked about emotional intelligence, being able to manage your emotions, understanding and managing your emotions. If you're able to master that inner world, then it will improve your resilience. But when those emotions come and you're not able to master it, and you allow it to overwhelm you, to drag you down, you cannot have that inner strength, the resilience to get up. So your emotional intelligence also affects your resilience, your level of resilience. I know that you're understanding what I'm saying, because we are all very, very intelligent people. Now, your self-compassion and self-care also affects your resilience. If you don't love yourself, how can you take chance on yourself? It's important to treat yourself well. If you don't treat yourself well, you don't care, but you don't love yourself. then it's difficult to take a chance on yourself. Why do I have to even get up and do anyway? Do you know, I've seen some videos on social media. I don't know if you follow, occasionally I'll just bump into some of these very big individuals that are working out to lose weight, like they are so big. Do you know why they are able to get up to do that? A lot of people, they would rather be on that bed. You have seen the people that are 1,000 pounds big, like trapped in their own bodies. They cannot move. They will have to carry them. The difference is that this one that is getting up to do the work, to put in the work, there's self-compassion, there's self-care. That's why they're able to take a chance on themselves, even get up. That's why they have the resilience to even get up from whatever it is that caused their overweight to begin to work out. So when we don't have those things, it affects us. You can't pour from an empty cup. Self-care is fundamental to having the energy and mental fortitude to be resilient. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you have to feel in yourself first, love yourself, be compassionate on yourself. Then you can now be able to have the mental fortitude to be resilient. I don't know about you, but I know that sometimes that's what happens when people are depressed. They are just feeling sorry for themselves and they can't do anything. It drains energy. You can't even get up. But when you start affirming to yourself, I am all that, I am this, even though this happened, I am still this. God loves me. I'm a child of God. I can do all things. This strength will begin to come for you to be able to rise again. Developing problem solving and decision making skills. Practicing making choices even when not all information is available. That's making decisions. I think there is a really mix up here. Okay, so let's jump it. This is not supposed to be here. Strategies for adaptability and growth. Strategies for adaptability and growth. Embracing change. Embracing change and uncertainty, helping you navigate the unknown. Number one, normalizing change. Just know that change is a constant part of life. Helping yourself and helping the people that we are mentoring to understand that discomfort with change is natural, but can be managed. Change is inevitable, it's constant, it will continue to happen. So what are we going to do? Are we going to just keep fighting against the change, or do we accept and normalize it? So number one is acceptance, normalizing that change. Then shifting from resistance to acceptance. That is, we've also talked about it. Moving away from fighting against change towards acknowledging it and looking for opportunities within it. Number three strategy is developing cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch between different concepts, adjust to new situations, and think about problems in multiple ways. It takes mental fortitude to be resilient and adaptable. It's not just what comes out on the outside. That's why we are dealing with it under the inner foundation and self-mastery skill. It's the inner one. What we see on the outside is manifestation. So you have to have that ability to switch between the different concepts, the new situation, and then think about the multiple ways and the multiple problems and ways that it can be solved. Then what if scenarios? Encourage thinking about positive outcomes of change rather than just negative outcomes. These are things that helps you build adaptability and resilience. Thinking about positive outcomes. What if this does not happen? What if it does happen? What if it does happen? What if it does happen? I feel like there is a lot of mix-up in this presentation slide. Let's get to goal setting and flexible planning. You know, we talk about goal setting all the time. And by the time we get into the next week, when we start talking about the action and motivation skills, goal setting is part of it. But even in our goal setting, there has to be flexible planning. When this plan that you have created is not working, do you have the ability to shift ground, to try another approach, or must it be this way? You know, someone said something. I can't remember where we went to. I think it's Surulere. We went somewhere and we are coming back, and there was traffic somewhere, and the driver navigated through different streets and all that. Okay, it was my friend. We were just navigating through different streets, and she said something because she was living in Surulere before she moved to VGC. She said, "This is why I love Surulere. Like the road network is, I'm telling you, there is like 3 or 4 different ways to get to one place in Surulere. If you don't follow this street to navigate and enter here and come out here, you can follow this one to get." He said it's unlike that in Lekki, it's just one way like this. Like, that's why the traffic is just something else. So you have a goal, you're going somewhere. Do you have that flexibility in your plan that if this way is blocked, can you move to another way to find another way? Or will you now guess in that place? Flexibility in planning. Breaking down goals, this is part of the goal setting, but I think the key point here is even in the goal setting, there should be room for flexible planning. There should be room for flexible planning. My slide is mumbled up with plenty things. Applying resilience and adaptability in real-world scenarios. Navigating academic challenges. So if you are working with students and they're having challenges in academic, how do you apply resilience and adaptability? How do you, teach them this principle to apply it? Number 1, overcoming test anxiety. These are things that we can teach how to overcome those test anxiety. We have techniques that we've shared, the breathing skills, demystifying the outcome to make this, because whatever makes us anxious is because we feel like there's a mystery there. The reason why you come on stage and you're shaking, I come on stage and I'm shaking, I'm nervous, is because we feel like there's this thing about this audience, like there's this mystery. There's really nothing. They're human beings. They have eyes and they are going to be looking ahead. They can talk if they want to talk. When that thing is demystified, it reduces the anxiety behind it. So helping children, young people to overcome test anxiety or exam anxiety, exam fever. I think this happened more with us, like our generation and maybe generation of our parents. These children of these days, they are not anxious about tests, so they are not anxious about exam. They don't have this kind of anxiety. I don't know, but about my own children. I remember when my son was going to write common entrance the first time. This was many years ago. Go and read. Every minute, go and read. It was me that was anxious. And one day, David said, "Mommy, I know what I'm doing." I'm telling you, I still remember those words. Now, to even think that he was 10 years old then, he said, "Mommy, I know what I'm doing." I'm telling you, I think he could just feel my anxious energy trying to overwhelm him. Because it's not him, he's not anxious, it's me that is anxious and I'm imposing my energy on. And we do that. So that's one thing, overcoming test anxiety. We can teach them how to do that. Managing their workload, time management, dealing with difficult subjects, recovering from poor grades, and all of that. Building healthy relationships and social, resilience, being able to navigate peer pressure, resolve conflicts, dealing with bullying, building new relationships, etc. And responding to personal challenges and setbacks, dealing with loss, disappointments, health issues, family challenges, and so forth, transitioning between grade schools, preparing for higher education. These are really areas that we need to pay attention to. That a child is moving from one school to it's not as easy. You know, for parents, it's easy for us to move a child from one school to another. Maybe when they are really young, they may not really, but it does tell somehow. So we need to, get them together, prepare them before making such big moves. Moving to a new country, you're japaing. There is no prior conditioning of the children. You just japa. Now, the Monday, you take them and just put them inside school, and you're wondering why they are struggling. We need to take time to be able to teach them these things and these skills before they leave, before they make that next step. Yes. So we have come to the end of this one, resilience and adaptability. So it's a good thing that we have more time for discussions, and I believe that more people will contribute. Okay, Dami, please unmute and share. I can see your hand up, and we need more participation. You remember what we just read here? The learning retention is higher. Okay, Dami's hand is low now. Okay, just unmute and speak. I can see Adura Emi's hand up. Can you unmute?
Okay. All right. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this class. Like it so resonates with me, especially this resilience and adaptability. And I would like to even speak from the last part. The last part you talked of, and we talked about where we mentioned about parents not what's it called now? Not preparing their children's mind well before changing their schools, and then so many things. Like it's so, recently I was pained, like I was very, very pained when I heard about a parent that decided to change our children's school after a year. I was like, what? Like, I was really, really pained that do these people understand what they are trying to do to these children, right? Okay, so I understand the fact that in changing schools or when it comes to our children's education, we are mindful of the kind of school we take them to, how they are coping with the school, and then academically they are doing well and, all around. So, why I was pained was because when these children were coming from, like, okay, so in 2023, this 2025, right? So the school they were attending, the mom was complaining about the younger child, you know, getting afraid of going to school. And each time he wants to go to school, he's not happy and all that. So they relocated to my area, and they joined a particular school that I recommended. Yes, I've worked in that school before, and so I know the systems in place in that school. And so they got into the school, and after a year, that is this September, a week to resumption, I got to know that they are changing the school. I was like, what happened? So anything could have happened, but I can beat my chest for that school that no, everything is in place, like everything is okay. So why did they change? They were saying, okay, there's this particular school in my area that, she and her husband, they've said that once their first child is so age, they will change their school and then take them from whatever school they are in to that school. And I was like, but I didn't have this conversation with her because I just felt it wasn't necessary anymore because the deed has been done. Everything is just on Monday, school will be resuming, and I just got to know on Saturday. So there's nothing I could have even done because they paid for the school fees and everything. And I was like, do you understand? I was just saying to myself, that does this woman or this parent understand that in 1 year, this child is still trying to, these children rather, are still trying to, what's this English now? They're still trying to get used to the system of this new school they got into, right? Yes, they might be doing well, but the way a child's brain is structured, and then they are being able to adapt to things. We the way we adapt to things as individuals are different. So, but these are children; they don't understand all these things that we are doing, and so it takes time for them to adapt and then get so used to it, and then settle well with that system. And then you are changing the child to another school again. So the whole process is starting from the beginning. Oh, I was so pained, right? I was so pained because I just wish they spoke out or they said something before. If I was aware, I would have told them instead of bringing them to this school that they just used for 1 year and then you're changing. Why not just go to this school that you've already agreed with your husband that once my first child is this age, they'll be switching to this school. Just go to that school. It's better. It's not as if the school is a bad school, right? But the process of taking children from one place to another in just 1 year is, oh my God, like it was so disheartening. I almost cried because they're not my children anyways, but no. So I think parents need to understand these things well because it affects them in so many ways. And I will not be surprised if the children drop back academically or in in another aspects of their life in school because they are still trying to normalize from the first school that they just spent for 1 year and then you are going to another new system. So it's disheartening that many parents don't know this. So thank you, Ma. I think let me just stop there.
Really, really, really get you. I'm going to really, my own contribution to this. I won't say that it's too late. You said that, the deed has already been done. It's not too late at all. You can still, approach the parents or the mom if you're close to them or they're friend, even if you're not close to them, you can still do this honest conversation. Like they should spend time because there is a reason. You said something that they already made a decision that when the first child is this age, then they will go there. So, and there's a reason they made that decision. They made that decision because they believe that that school is better. So wherever they were on transit, and that's their decision, and they know it, but the children do not know it. So what I'm asking that you nicely do to this parent is to let them have time to share this reason because they are making this decision for the children's good. But if you don't tell the children, they don't know. I'm saying this because of my own experience. I was 9 years old when they took me to boarding school in a village inside Anambra State. And I was like, why? I'm the only one, like I'm six, the sixth child out of six. Why me? As in, I kept asking that question, what did I do? Everybody was schooled at home, from nursery school to secondary school, as in university. And at 9 years old, they uprooted me and took me to Ufuma, one village school in Anambra State. I was like, why me? I didn't know. Do you know when my mom finally opened up and told me? Because I kept thinking, like, I cried, as in, I stopped crying in SS3. Just to let you know how much I cried. Every time I'm going back to school, I'll cry. It was in SS3 because I was a senior, then I stopped crying. But it was after I got married, one day I was having a conversation with my mom. I was like, why did you people take me to Ufuma? Why did you people take me to? And guess her reason? That, because I'm the last. The older ones, they were already growing and going into uni, leaving home. There was nobody to really watch over me because number one, I'm girl. Number two, I'm the last. And then we had neighbors. I was living inside university. We were living inside university community. And we had neighbors, we were living in block of flats. Neighbors, they come in, go out, boys, all my brother's friends, as in, my mom was like, this is not safe. And she was not working in, UNN. That's where we lived. She was working in Anambra State. She used to come back every other weekend. So she thought she cannot leave me. As at that time, my big sister has gone to uni and the other ones are going to uni. So they were acting, they were acting based on my own good interest. I said to her, you should have told me. At least me knowing, at least I'll know that, okay, this is for my own good. Like, he has a way of cooling the whole thing. But nobody told me. So right now, these parents, they are making the right decision for the children based on what they believe is best for them. And it's out of love. And that's one thing we as parents should do. Can we have the conversation with our children on our own good interests for them? Let them know. So please, let the parents have that conversation. I know that you're just trying to settle into this school and we're pulling you out, but this is the reason. We've been waiting to send you to this school. We've been waiting for this person to be this year so that we can all send you, because this is a better school. It has this one, it has this one. I'm telling you, that alone, it will help to settle a lot of things. So when they are in class, and even if the pressure is coming from anywhere, they will know this is my why. This is really the reason we should have a why for everything, for our businesses and some of the decisions, because it's our why that carries us through in the storms, because we will always encounter storm. So that's what I'm going to say, that you should help your friend. It's not late. You should just have that conversation. But when they just throw the children in there and they expect the children to thrive and they are not thriving, they might start blaming the children. I will put you in this music, all the money we spent, but the children don't know why they had to be moving them from here to here to here. Just simple conversation can dilute all these things. Thank you so much for that contribution. So when my son was going to boarding school, I had to tell him. In fact, we started preparing for that boarding school when he was in primary 4. I've been thinking and praying about the school. When I found out that, okay, this school is going to be good for him, I went and downloaded the logo of the school and I put it in his vision board, very close to his picture, beside his picture. I stuck the logo of the school, and I said, that's the school that you're going to go to, boarding school. Initially, he rejected it. I'm going to boarding school. I'm not going to boarding school. And then the vision board is also a conditioner because they're seeing it there every day. Their mind is accepting it. By the time he was finishing primary 6, he was announcing to all his friends, I'm going to boarding school. He had been conditioned just by constant exposure. And then I told him, see, the reason why you're going there, he went to Faith Academy at that time. I said, Faith Academy, I love this place for you because it's a combination of the spiritual aspects, the Faith Tabernacle, the church, and the university, the intellectual aspect. Covenant University is there. So you're getting a blend of both, and it's good for you. I shared these things with him. And, when he was going, of course, he still cried, because if you're leaving home for the first time, you cry. But now he has a purpose, he has a why, and it makes everything so easy. So we need to be having those conversations with our children, because if they know the why, when the whatever was begin to come, they have the resilience inside to get up. But when they don't know the why, they will now knock them, they will fall and stay on the ground. It's you that will now come and carry them and say, boarding school did not work for you, or this school did not work, but we did not prepare them. All right, please, we have more contributions before we go. More contributions.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hmm. Sorry, I came a bit late, but at the same time, I can get myself composed a little now. So I really thank you a lot for this teaching and about this resilience and adaptability has been this skill personally is for me is something that I recognize recently, that I have it like very well, like I exhibit it well, and it has really helped me because initially I cannot name it, but since this um I met PDAC, so I started knowing, I came to know and aware about this thing, particularly in me. So, and I didn't know I was exhibiting. I didn't know exactly that that is what I was exhibiting all this while. That has been helping me through my life, because my life has been like a testimony of, coming out of this and now and that. So, but this actually, the way this thing has helped me recently, it's really helped me as in this resilience and adaptability has really helped me in my lifestyle, like the way I attempt or I approach things in life. So this happened like 2029, that I was diagnosed for a kind of like a chronic disease, let me just say, which I was like, I shouldn't be here. As I'm talking now, I shouldn't. If each time I'm seeing myself, like, I shouldn't be here, because even last year or this year, even this year and last year, I have two people that died just because of what happened to me. So, and I always see myself as God, like a living testimony, like the reason why I'm here, I know that God, I'm fulfilling it. So what actually helped me is this, this resilience and being able to adapt, because I was faced with that reality that this is what I have. And immediately I was like, begin to, and I thank God, because God helped me to know that, that I didn't know how, because that thing particularly, I've never heard it close. I've never even seen somebody that have it. I always hear it afar of, like, okay, this is this thing. So when I have it, I was like, it cannot be the end. That was the first thing I told myself. It can never be the end, because I got to know that, there is more to my life. There's more. I've not even started doing what I'm supposed to do, on this planet. So I was like, at that point in time, I was already having the mind, okay, I'm now starting what God want me to do. And I came out with this kind of, how do I put it? This thing happened. Then I was like, okay, it can't be the end. Even as much as I have never seen anybody that survived it before, I've never heard, I don't know whether somebody has survived it, because I said, yes, okay, no wala. I started being like trying to figure out, I prayed, I was like trying to know, telling the people that I know that they can help me. I didn't just start telling everybody. I was not being afraid like that, but I just knew that it can never be the end. So God helped me throughout and everything, was able to navigate through everything, and God directed me to a particular place, because everything just happened, like God was just orchestrating things to happen for me to be able to now get the solution to them. Then after then, I have to start changing my lifestyle. I have to change, and everything has to change immediately. In fact, the way I turned 360-degree, like the way I turned, you will not believe that. You will be thinking I've already know what to do before, because I just knew this thing will help me. I Google, I did everything. I know this thing will help me. I just changed the lifestyle, everything changed, and I became my own doctor. And I begin to know what to do to myself. Each time I would just know, okay, this is what to do, this is what to do. I would just like, okay, eventually, okay, another thing that helped me is that I was like, okay, I will be helping people. That thing just came to me that, okay, for this thing to happen to me, that means somebody else will be helped through me. Like, I just have that mindset will just come to me like that. That's all. For me to have this thing, that means God has really placed me to help somebody. So I didn't even know that was what I was exhibiting. So I will just have that. If anytime I face with challenge, I will just know, okay, okay, this thing came to me because I have the capacity and I am able to, know that I can do it and help others. That is all. Every time I'm stuck, I don't even get stuck. And that is why adaptability is another thing that helped me, because every time I will believe that, as I'm having a plan of something, another one, I've already have another like plan B somewhere, which this one fails. I immediately switch. I don't get stuck. I mentioned to my husband recently, I said, it's as if I don't get stuck because as I'm planning this, somewhere inside of me, I've already like envisaged like, oh, if this thing does not work, what can I do? And immediately, if that thing comes to me, immediately I'm switched. And my children even know. I don't get stuck. Immediately, I'm already find like a solution to it. As if I'm, and I'm already, it start making me to see myself as a problem solver, as a solution, embodied person. Like that is the kind of thing that is working for me recently. So that has been my superpower that I'm enjoying for myself. And the way I've been, even if I don't tell you what I've been through recently, if I don't tell you, you will not know. You'll just be like, never. Because appearance, that thing even make me to change my lifestyle, that I'm beginning to like the new life I'm living now. I'm even growing, I'm better than before. I'm enjoying my life than before because it's opened me up to a knowledge, to a new lifestyle that is even better off. That I see that, oh, this life is better than living anyhow, living without caring for yourself and all of these things. I pay more attention to things I do. I become more intentional in everything I do. So those are the things that I've seen that has really helped me through this resilience and adaptability. So I would like to stop here, ma.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really amazing. What I can say scripturally about resilience, I feel like resilience is having a strong spirit because it comes from inside. And the Bible says it's the spirit of man that sustains him in trouble, in iniquity. Is your spirit. There are people that may not even have whatever diagnosis it is that they give you. But once it is said, whatever one, as in they have died. But then there are people, they give them the worst and the worst of it, but they are able to stand, and not just stand as in we stand. So I believe that a scriptural, part of what's in scriptural terms, that's having that resilient spirit is having a strong spirit, and just continue to do good. I was just looking at this scripture on righteousness. If you're in our morning school, I've talked many times about this word righteousness. When we say righteousness, people only think it's our right standing with God, which it is. But righteousness also means good works, your generosity, your ability to communicate good to others. How do you share? How do you love? It can also call hospitality as part of righteousness, good works. And the Bible says, peacemakers who sow in peace, they reap the fruit of righteousness, the fruit of that righteousness, you know. So the fruit of righteousness is also peace. I'm looking for a particular scripture that talks about the fruit of righteousness being peace. So what you're giving, even in this situation, you feel like, okay, there's something I have that I have to be giving. Those things that you're giving is bringing you peace. And you need that peace, it strengthens your body. So continue to do good works. Continue to do good works. That's what I will do. And the works of righteousness shall be peace. And the effects of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever. That's the scripture. That is Isaiah 32:17. You should just keep it somewhere. And the work of righteousness, good works, remember, shall be. And the effect of righteousness, quietness, calm spirits. You're not agitated, you're not in fear. And assurance. What is assurance? Whatever it is that you want to call assurance, forever. So continue to do those good works. We have overshot by 9 minutes, and I hope that that this class was worth it for you. And in the absence of any other question, I thought I saw Mrs. Sophie's hand up. Do you still want to say something? Okay, no. So we are going to call it a day. Please go out there and teach. Go out there and teach. Even if it's easy, just go out there and teach it. Teach something. All the things that you've been learning, just teach one person, teach your children, teach somebody, and it will help you to increase your retention to 90%. 90. So listening, you just got 5%, 0.5, not even 0.5%, just listening alone. But when you teach others, it increases to 90% learning retention. Thank you, everyone, and see you all again next week, same time. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Somebody's coming to the DM. I'm waiting. Okay.
So much.
Bye-bye. Okay. What link did I say I will share again?